that. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Chat with a Rat, episode 4. We have with us Christopher Pack. Say hello, Christopher.
Hello, everyone. How are you? They didn't say anything back. Hey.
Chris is the lead singer of a band called Twisty and the Puddin Packs, and he's also in many other bands. You want to give him a shout out?
Sure, yes. So I sing in Twisty and the Puddin Packs. I play drums in the Scurvy, and I play bass in Blood Donor.
Nice. And out of those bands, which one is the best?
Wow. So they're all different, and I'm like a different person in each one. So tonight you're getting just Chris Pack, the regular. That's not any of those personas. So yeah, they're all different. They're way too different to say which one would be better. They're all just terrible. So Scurvy's kind of like, oh crap, we're not even recording, are we?
No, not on this one. We are on this. We're gonna start over.
Okay, I'll pretend like you didn't say anything.
Yeah. The video people get a second one. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Chat with a Rat, episode 4. We have Christopher Pack with us. Say hello, Christopher.
Hey, everyone.
Again.
Oh, they didn't say anything back.
Chris is lead singer of a band called Twisty and the Puddin Packs. And go ahead and say the other bands or anything.
So I sing in Twisty and the Puddin Packs. I play bass in Blood Donor, and I play drums in the Scurvy.
Nice. Hold on. Babe, give me that book over there that I left over there, please.
Oh, yeah.
I'm totally prepared in case you
I
haven't
am
noticed.
too.
There
Thanks. I wrote down some questions for you, and we'll get to them. But to start off with, I know there was a question that you had mentioned to me before, so I'll go ahead and ask you that question. Have you ever seen someone steal someone else's joke?
Yes. Okay, so like, you mean like comedy, because this is about stand-up comedy, and I'm not a stand-up comedist, but here I am. Okay, but I do music, and from the outside looking in at like the stand-up comedy and watching people do that, they do it all the time, and sometimes they change it up enough where it's not. But this is what I think about it. So like when I'm in a band and I like hear something like Yakety Yak by the Coasters. Is that the Coasters? Is that the Yakety Yak? You should know these things.
Yeah, Yakety Yak Don't Talk Back.
Yeah.
It might be the Coasters.
Right?
I mean, maybe.
Okay, so like in Twisty Chris we play that, but so when I hear that, I'm like, oh yeah, I like the effect that has on people. I should have that same effect on people. So we'll do it, but we'll do it like louder and with more energy and faster. So I think like if someone were to steal a joke,
yeah,
they should just do it louder and faster and with a lot more energy. So then it's like then it's a cover joke, and it's an amazing cover joke, and people are gonna go nuts. Could you imagine like when Chris Rock was going on and on about like Vida Loca? He's like, Vida Loca, everybody's doing Vida Loca. But imagine if you did that same joke really fast. Like, everyone goes Vida Loca, and you run around the stage. And then it's not about stealing the joke anymore, it's how you present it.
Yeah,
so and I think there should be cover joke artists.
Yeah.
Like
sure. You'd be like, you might be a redneck.
Dude, yes, like if you're so excited that you go through Lakeland and you see the Golden Corral, and you're so excited about the Golden Corral and then you see a twisty tree next, you might be a redneck. And everybody would go nuts, and it's like cover comedy could be a new thing, just like cover bands. And you can make a lot more money, just like cover bands make a lot more money from stealing other music. You can make a lot of money from stealing jokes.
But you'd have to play it like sleazy bars and such, like cover bands.
Yeah, like in this. Yes, same way. Like you're in a strip plaza,
like in front of the Applebee's.
Dude, okay, there was a sign that said, I'm not kidding, like right before the exit to get here, and it said roadside attraction, Applebee's.
Yeah,
and it spoke to my heart.
We went to Applebee's last night, and there was a cover band playing out in front of Applebee's, and they were so terrible, so bad. I was standing outside smoking a cigarette while I was waiting on the food to come, and there was this other dude standing out there smoking a cigarette, and he had the exact same gold teeth that I had, so I was like, oh, instant buddies. But he looked over at me and he was like, that guy cannot play the drums. And I was like, yeah, it's pretty bad. I was like, but I think it's so bad because the drums are out of tune. Because they were definitely out of tune.
Right.
And he was like, yeah. And then like both of us were standing there for a second listening. And then he was like, no, I think it's both. And I was like, yeah, it's both. It is
They
both.
kind of like just hand in hand.
Yeah.
Oh man, I want to go to this Applebee's. It sounds amazing. I mean, I love all Applebee's.
I know you do.
I'm the #1 Applebee's champion.
I know you're a big fan.
And oh man, I would love to go to this Applebee's to watch this really bad band. Because usually I just spend all my money on touch tunes at Applebee's. I have the touch tune.
Oh yeah.
And I always do the Waffle House birthday song, which is available on all touch tunes, even at Applebee's.
I'm not familiar.
Yeah, it's just the Waffle House birthday song. It's what you would expect. It's polka. They're like, it's your birthday. And then it's like, happy birthday from Waffle House. And I've probably spent like $80 on touch tunes this year.
Great.
Just playing that one song.
Oh, that's a good investment. So.
Yeah, it has a great return on investment, and I recommend that to everyone.
Yes, good choices. Love it. How do you even go about getting booked at an Applebee's?
I don't know.
Well, you're in the band. You should know. You're in
I've
the cover
never
band.
played at Applebee's.
Why not? You love Applebee's and you're in a cover band. How have you not played
I
at an
think we
Applebee's?
need to find out
I
how
think
these
you- yeah,
guys do
I
it.
think so.
I mean, maybe I need worse drums, and I don't know. Should we call Applebee's and see if my band
we
can
need
play
to
there?
figure this out. I will be mad if the next time I go to Applebee's you're not playing there.
I'm gonna book myself into Lakeland Applebee's within the next 2 months. I promise.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Twisty Chris and the Pudding Packs coming to the Applebee's near you. So, how long have you been playing music for?
Drumming is what I've always done, even though like most people don't know me as a drummer. But
So that was like the first thing you did
Yeah.
musically?
probably I was about 4 years old, and I got a Smurfs drum set,
Okay.
and I was really into the Monkees at the time.
Right on.
And the TV show was like really popular on Nickelodeon, and like we're talking like 1985, 84, 85, and I was like literally trying to figure out how they did the drums. I wasn't just like most kids going. I was trying to figure out certain things. So.
Okay, no, you're good.
Does
You're
it
good. You're
work
good.
in OFF?
I'm just making sure. You're good. You're good.
So,
I'm just making
like,
sure, 'cause
yeah,
my
so-
headphones are being weird. Sorry.
So I started drumming then, and my first band was I was 14 years old. It was called the Country Squires Band, and it was in Spartanburg, South Carolina, a line dancing club called Country Time USA, and it was like 1994. And every single weekend, the band would play, but I didn't play every single weekend. I played every other weekend because their real drummer was like in the Army Reserves or something, so she was gone every other weekend.
So it was just like a band that you filled in for?
Yeah, but like every other weekend I would play drums, and then at the same time, at that time I was like really getting into punk music too, and I was like one of my favorite bands was Green Jello, and I was pen pals with them and wrote to them, and they would write me back, and I would tell them I want to start a band. They're like, start a band. They actually like encouraged me to start a band. So
Yeah.
So when I was 14, I was in the Country Squires band and then a punk band at the same time.
Okay.
And it was a lot of fun, and I just kind of jumped into both, having no idea what I'm doing with either.
So the first like punk band that you're in, did you do anything with that one or?
Yeah, actually, I'm still friends with the guy that was in the bass player, Adam. We still chat with each other all the time. We'll see each other a couple of times a year, even though he's in South Carolina.
Nice.
And but we had this amazing band name called Feedback. like later we found out that there's a band called Feedback like in every town ever.
Yeah,
but
probably.
we thought it was
Yeah,
the coolest
sure,
thing
yeah,
ever.
yeah.
And our songs were like, we had one song called, it was like 2 seconds long, and it was called "I Farted and It Stinks Real Bad." It was like, "I farted and it stinks real bad," and that was it. And then we had
Yeah.
some other like pop punk songs too. We had no idea what we were doing, but we had so much fun. We said we were like we're gonna do our basement tour, and we'd like
go to different people's
play to
basements.
his basement, and
Oh.
then my house. It's like,
Nice.
But our friends, we call it. We would just. We had a lot of fun, but we had no idea what we were doing, and I kind of haven't stopped playing since.
Nice, yeah. That's kind of how it was for me too. The first band I was ever in, I was probably like 16, and I was like a huge fan of the Locust, and
yeah, they're crazy.
Yeah, and I was just like, man, I want to start a band like the Locust. So I found like 3 of my friends that neither of us were terribly talented at playing anything.
Right.
But I found 3 other people that had instruments, and I got a microphone and a keyboard speaker, amp, and we just like started playing like that, and it was god awful. It was like the worst band ever. But we played like a couple shows. We got booked on. I think we played like a show that like Carpenter's Home Church put on.
Cool.
So yeah, it was.
What was your band called?
That band was called She Said Never.
She Said Never.
Yeah.
Oh, that's deep.
Yeah, I don't know where it came from. My buddy Will came up with that name, and I was just like, okay, whatever. I never really cared for it too much, but he was like adamant about it. So, yeah, it was terrible though. But it was fun, like you said.
Nice.
After that, I was in some more better bands, but.
But see, you don't even remember those. It was the fun one that you remember. See, see.
Yeah. Let's see. So what? I know you want to do. You've been talking to me about wanting to do stand up. Here and there, like if you're thinking about it at least.
Yeah.
So what's holding you back from that?
This is the pause because I don't have a right answer for that. It's almost like, do I want to take on something else? And
right.
The answer is yeah, why not? But I don't know. I think I should just try it one day. Like
absolutely. Until someone tries it the first time, they won't know if it's for them or not.
Right.
I feel like there's a certain type of person that gets in front of people and starts telling jokes, and when you get those laughs, it's like the best drug.
I believe it.
Like it's amazing. And I feel like for some people that's the way it is. And for other people, probably it's not like that. They probably don't care either way. You know?
Sure.
Those people probably won't end up being comedians or whatever, or, you know. But I see some people that aren't the greatest comedians, but when they do get laughs, they they're like, oh yes, you know. So
right.
They work hard at it, like, and they keep, you know, they're like, oh, I got to make this funnier, you know. It doesn't come as easy for everyone, but I feel like it's just like a passion inside some people that, like, you know, that's it gives them some sort of joy, and those are the people I feel like, and like I say, until you do it once, I don't feel like you'll know. It, like, you know, you might get up there and do it, you might get a ton of laughs, and you're just like, well, that was cool, but like, well, I don't really care, you know, like it might be like doing karaoke or something, you know.
Sure, and I think that I would totally feed off of it just from like doing music in general, like
yeah.
Like when you watch our, like, especially Twisty, when you watch our live shows, it's all about the stupid stuff that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we've been playing these same easy songs for like a decade. Like, they're just easy and funny and whatever.
Right.
But the presentation is what I always have fun with. The silly
absolutely.
Dances. I mean, like one of my favorite comedians. You know, he's a song and dance guy. He's not even a comedian, and
right.
And what happens to me a lot of times when I'm like talking to a crowd is I forget things. Like right now I'm forgetting his name, and Andy Kaufman. Andy Kaufman.
Okay.
That's just what it is.
Yeah.
And
it's okay. That happens to me all the time
and
too.
I could see myself going that route where I'm doing jokes, but I'm also like a little bit hyper, like I am on stage anyway.
Right. Yeah.
And is the presentation more than the joke?
Right.
So I would just steal your jokes and do them more hyper.
Right. Yeah. Well, it wouldn't take much effort to do my jokes more with more energy.
I love your presentation, though. I've seen your videos, but your presentation is where it's at.
It's very low energy.
I love it, though. It goes with what you're. I love it.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's not something I even really planned on doing. It was just kind of came out that way when I got up there the first time, because it's just kind of similar to how I talk in general.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just trying to remember everything, and that's just kind of how everything came out. And then everybody was just like, "Oh, I love how you did that." And I was like, "Well, I guess that's how I do comedy." Let's see. I wrote a good joke, or a good joke. I always call these questions jokes. Every single time.
I call everything a joke.
So what's your favorite style of music to, well, first of all, what's your favorite style of music to perform?
To perform? See, that's brutal. It would be a style that I don't perform, actually. I would love to be in a boy band, like
Okay.
New Kids on the Block or something like that, where we sing and dance. Like, to perform, I would love to do that. Like,
Yeah?
yes, like where we have like 4 or 5 dudes on stage doing the same dance moves, and we have the different parts.
Do you think you could, do you have like a voice for that?
No. No. Have you heard me? No, I do not at all. But like, I would love it though. I would love to like be in like a boy band. Like, I can't sing, I can't dance, but I do both like the best I can.
Right.
And if I can get like a bunch of dudes to also do that, I think it would be amazing.
I think that also, like, honestly, would probably be great. Like, if you had like 5 guys that none of them could sing that great or dance that great, but they all just like went all out doing it.
Exactly. Could you imagine that? It would be amazing. So yeah, because like that's
that'd
another
be
one.
really
Because I
good.
talked about when I was a kid, I loved the Monkees and stuff like that. But then, as time went on, I really got into New Kids on the Block. I never really got into Backstreet because at that point I was like a little bit like, once you hit that age, you're not allowed to be a guy and listen to that anymore.
Right.
And so I hit that age, but like, yeah, all of that, like New Kids on the Block and Monkees, any of that where we're all like doing dances, I would love to do that kind of stuff.
Right.
Or even
Yeah,
like the old, like stuff like the Coasters and the Platters, like from the 60s.
That's true. Yeah,
It's the
they
same
used to,
thing.
yeah,
It's
they
the
used to
same
do that
stuff.
too.
You know,
I mean,
I would love to do something like that.
Probably where it originated from.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Always white people stealing stuff from people of color.
Yeah.
So what? How long have you been making like videos for like on Facebook and like funny videos and stuff? It's just like,
You know, like, my TikTok account is older than anyone's TikTok account.
really?
I can say that with confidence.
Nice.
But no, but for real, I don't know. Like, as soon as I was able to, like, because I would make funny videos. Like, me and my friend Travis that lived across the street from me when I was like in junior high or whatever, we would like with a VHS little camera, we would make stupid videos anyway, and no one would even watch them. We would just
Right.
So it just kind of evolved into like, once you're able to do it and actually post it, I did. You know.
Nice. Yeah.
So I don't know exactly when I started making silly videos, and I don't even know if they're even good, but
Yeah.
but like, I just
a lot of them are
kind of
really
always,
funny.
you know, I've kind of always made videos. And
Yeah, that's how I was like introduced to you. Like, originally it was somebody being like, "Oh yeah, this is my friend, so it's he makes really funny videos." And
Oh,
I was
no.
like, "Oh yeah," and then like played one, and I was like, "That's pretty funny."
oh, do you remember which video it was?
Oh man, I don't know. I can't remember what the first video that I saw you do was. I remember when you were doing those weatherman videos.
Oh, WCHRIS for the weather, yeah, because my family, you know, I'm not from Florida. Like, we're like, you've lived in Florida a long time.
Yeah,
Or
my
all
whole
your life,
for
your
the
whole life.
most part,
So
yeah.
when hurricanes come, you know, there's precautions, but you know you're gonna be okay.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and but
Talk closer
coming,
to the
but
microphone.
coming from coming from like in state of South Carolina, like away from the shore, they're not used to like hurricanes and stuff like that, so they would check on me, are you okay?
Right, yeah.
And so I just started having fun with it.
Yeah, anyone who doesn't live here thinks it's something like really scary.
Yeah. And I'm glad, I appreciate their concern. So instead of being like, I'm fine, I would make fun videos and be like, here's the weather, CHRIS, and I would do like the weather reports and then my phone dies and I don't have power and I've wasted all of my phone doing the video. And
and you'd always be like talking into like a bottle of Dr. Pepper as a microphone.
Yes. And then there was one where I said it was sponsored by Roof Water because the roof was just pouring and I drank it and it was so gross because
I imagine
it had like the little like pellets from the shingles. So don't actually ever drink roof water. It's not good for you.
Fair enough. Man, I'm glad you told me that because I was looking into it, man. I'll tell you. So what's your favorite type of music to listen to?
Dude, it really depends on my mood.
Yeah.
I listen to. Loosely, I could say like punk rock would be like my favorite style of music to listen to, like punk rock or like maybe. I used to be more into like 50s rock and roll, and then I kind of got into like Motown soul stuff too. I'm wearing a Motown shirt right now,
Nice.
but like, oh man, it goes all over the place. Like. I really got into hardcore like in the late 90s, early 2000s, like a lot of the straight edge hardcore stuff, all that stuff, and then, man, I don't know, like surf music I love, it's all over the place, and it just depends on the mood. Like, what was I listening to on the way here? I was listening to the Christian rap on the way here, and so like it could be anything. Man, that new Andy Mineo album hits so hard. It's so good. Listen to it. Listen to new Andy Mineo, people. but I guess I could always fall back on the Ramones always because they have the good mixture of. I mean, obviously they're a punk band. They are the American punk rock band, but
it's
so much
50s
influences. Like a Beach Boys, Janet D, the influence, all like doo-wop influence. So I think I always maybe fall back to the Ramones style.
I love the Ramones.
Yeah.
Well, what you were just saying brings me to a good question that I wrote. What do you think happened to the Christian punk scene, or Christian punk music? Because it was huge.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. You brought that up. You went there. Yeah. Okay. Brandon Ebel broke it from Tooth and Nail Records. He killed it, but he also created it. He created a monster and then destroyed it.
Well, how did he kill it?
No. Okay. So originally there were, and that's a solid question. So like in the mid '90s and stuff, there were some bangers coming out, man.
Yeah.
There were some good bands that were coming out, but they were kids, man. These people were coming out and they were like 15, 16 years old getting signed and worked. They were worked hard. They were dropping out of school and touring, and they were like, oh, we're doing this for God. But it's really, they're kids, man. And so I think what happened was a term that comes up, church hurt, where it's like they kind of lose their faith because of how people treated them.
Yeah.
And when you're working for the biggest Christian music label in the indie world, like Tooth and Nail Records, and they hurt you, what do you have left? Because they, I'm not questioning anyone's faith or anything. Like I'm not going there. I'm speaking like on the industry itself, and I think that when that industry hurt them, and they're that young, they don't have anything else to fall upon because they were just kids anyway, and so I think that did it, and then also when these bands were coming out, then they just started like crapping out some garbage bands, man. Like, oh my god, like there were so many bad Christian punk bands that came out in the late '90s that because they're like, oh, anybody can do it. Have you ever heard of ska? And then it's like all these garbage ska bands would come out too, and then But then, like, it kind of picked back, especially in Florida, with like the hardcore and the metalcore and stuff like that. That picked up pretty well.
Yeah, but even that, it swelled and died. Like I remember being younger, and I actually played bass in a band that was like a Christian hardcore band, quote unquote Christian hardcore band. It was like a band that was already formed, and they had a bassist, but something happened to their bassist, I don't remember, and they like asked me to play bass for them, and I was like, yeah, I guess so, whatever. And then later they kicked me out of the band because they said that I wasn't Christian enough, or whatever, for the band. But then like later after that, well, I won't go into all the details, but it's a thing. But anyways, but I remember like a time where I knew people personally that were in like some like bigger like hardcore or metalcore bands and stuff like that, and who literally were like, yeah, we're like, and I think a lot of people have this mentality where they were just like, we can just say we're a Christian hardcore band, say we're a Christian metal band, and we'll get signed way easier.
Yeah.
So people were just doing that to get signed.
Yeah.
And to like get booked on Hellfest and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of these bands weren't. They didn't care at all.
No, right?
They weren't anything.
Yeah,
like
it wasn't.
That.
Yeah, and I think in general with the punk scene, and I say punk broadly, you have to. If it's not true, people are gonna know eventually.
Yeah, yeah.
And that punk, metal, hardcore, and it's not, if you're not true to what you're saying, no matter what you're saying, people are gonna catch on, and it's gonna sound fake,
I
and
agree.
people are gonna, and that probably contributed to killing the scene too, or killing it or whatever. Yeah.
You even see like bands now too that were like bands that are still popular that used to be Christian bands who now are like, nah, we ain't doing that. Like Under Oath.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, actually dial that back, sir. You
yeah,
know,
they're like yeah, and you know, and that's, man, you brought that up too. Okay, so like people like Aaron. Okay, so like it's funny because people think Blood Donor that I play bass for is ex Under Oath. None of us were in Under Oath. It's really, but like we're evolved from another band with like Octavio that was in Under Oath.
Octavio. Yeah.
So and he's good friends of
ours.
ours.
What was that other band he was in? I think I played a show with him one time.
Maybe Anam Cara.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so the drummer for Blood Donor
was
in Anam Cara also.
Okay. Yeah.
So but then I think that brings like people like Aaron and Dallas, who used to be in Under Oath and stuff like that, and Aaron and Spencer.
Yeah.
They are very open about it. They've been hurt by brings up that term church hurt, which is like people say church hurt like it's an insult. Like I'm saying this like from like a Christian environment. People say church hurt as an insult to these people. Like, oh, they just got church hurt. Well, why don't we do something about it? Why do we have to keep being dicks to these people?
Yeah.
Instead of being like, oh man, what can we do to make these people not be so pissed off at us?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, like I can relate to it, you know, because I grew up in church,
right,
and in Christian school and all that, and I'm not by any means a religious person anymore, and I won't say that it's all stemmed from that, but initially that's where it came from.
Almost every time. Yeah. That's almost every time. That's
initially
how it
starts,
was
me being like, I don't have anything to do with these people. They're awful. You
know?
Yeah.
Almost every time.
But I don't look down on anyone for what they think or what they believe.
Right.
I think
that's awesome that you don't. You know, there's. I think we're at an age, and like, I mean, I know I'm older, but like we as our generation is at an age where we're more accepting to others.
Some people are.
Yeah, well, some people are, but I think, and one of my friends, Jason, told me, he said those people that aren't like that, they're eventually going to die off.
Yeah. And
it might take a few more generations, but it's going to be less and less and less. Just like we all have like that racist uncle or the racist grandpa.
Right. Yeah.
But
absolutely.
I think all of that's going to like go away because everybody's just tired of it. You know,
I agree. Yeah.
everybody's just
yeah.
tired of the
Yeah.
negativity, and hopefully that eventually just kind of fizzles out and people can be nice to each other.
Yeah, that would be nice. That would be amazing if people could just like let each other be and just be kind to each other.
Right.
It'd be lovely. And I don't care what your religion is. That's a pretty easy thing to believe in. Just
Right,
being
yeah.
kind to one another.
Start with loving and then go from there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So moving on from that, how many hot dogs have you eaten in one sitting?